The injury bug strikes again as the Denver Nuggets are blown out at home on the second night of a back-to-back, losing to the New York Knicks. Your final score, 142-103. Let's dive into it on tonight's Locked On Nuggets postcast. Let's get into it, folks.
You are Locked On Nuggets postcast, powered by Mile High Sports. Part of Locked On Sports Denver on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
What is going on, Nuggets Nation? Welcome on into your Locked On Nuggets postcast. You might be wondering why you're not seeing Ryan Blackburn, Matt Moore, or Swipa. That is because Locked On is reintroducing the Locked On Nuggets postcast from here throughout the rest of the season and into the playoffs. So you'll be seeing me after just about each and every Denver Nuggets game down the stretch. I am your host, Aniello Piro. Hope everyone is doing well out there and frankly hanging in there in Broncos country. Excuse me. I do the Broncos show as well, so I'm used to that cadence. And Nuggets Nation is what I was trying to say. But we'll have some fun here. Unfortunately, not too much fun to have here tonight on the Locked On Nuggets postcast as Jamal Murray goes down with an injury. We'll spend an extensive amount of time on that and also get to the game itself as Denver is blown out. Again, your final score in this one, 142-103. Just some background on myself very, very quickly. Matt Moore, Ryan Blackburn, Swipa Cam, those are all my boys, right? I've known them for a long, long time. I've worked with Ryan side by side at Mile High Sports for a long time. Matt Moore, I've known for essentially a decade right now. So I know I'm a newer face to this channel. Maybe some of you guys watched on the old Locked On Denver YouTube channel. We're now moving this over to the Locked On Nuggets feed as a whole. So appreciate you guys rocking with me. And let's get right on into it, man. I mean, we got to start with Jamal Murray. And Denver really got out to a nice start in this game, but Jamal Murray there late in the second quarter, trying to stop a strong drive there from OG Anunoby. Some Nuggets lore with that, if you know what I'm saying. Maybe we get to that a little bit later on the program, but he's driving into the paint. Jamal takes some contact in a foul. He falls backwards and ultimately ends up stepping on Nikola Jokic's foot in pretty awkward fashion and looks like he's hobbled up. I don't want to speculate too much, but it appeared to be an ankle injury there for Jamal Murray. And of course, he leaves the game in the second quarter, is listed as questionable to return, and he does not return en route to this blowout loss. And really just a deflating loss, whichever way you slice it, for this Denver Nuggets team, off the heels of two consecutive victories for the first time in a long time, a clutch game against the Los Angeles Lakers, in particular in the fourth quarter, and what was a wire-to-wire victory for the Denver Nuggets. And it's like, okay, what do they got for us here on the second night of the back-to-back? And they got out to a hot start in this game. New York started crawling back thanks to some offensive scoring from their bench. Landry Shamet had some nice moments as well for the Knicks here. And it just feels like this injury to Jamal Murray sucked the life out of the building. I mean, Denver was a dead team walking in the second half of this game. No ifs, ands, or buts about it in that sense. And it's just a horrible situation because I think the vibe going into this game is you knew that Aaron Gordon was likely coming back. Of course, he did play, and we'll talk about Aaron Gordon, his return here in a little bit as well. But this was like the first time you were going to get to see the Nuggets in their true starting five form, that, of course, being Jokic, Murray, Cam Johnson, Aaron Gordon, and Christian Brown for the first time on the court together since like early November. I mean, we're talking about the first handful of games in the season, the first little turn of games there in the year. And it was cool for all of about 27 minutes or so. And to see Jamal Murray go down with that injury is just devastating. It's just a massive gut punch to this Denver Nuggets team and just what has been an absolutely injury-plagued and ridiculed season. And I've said it on the record over at Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan. And, you know, I've said it on different shows, and I've said it on social media as well. I truly believed entering into the season the only thing that could derail the Denver Nuggets this year would be the injuries. And now, look, I know a lot of people have a lot of things to say about David Adelman and how he's handled rotations and different guys playing at different spots. Again, that's a much larger conversation, but the reality of where we're at right now is injuries have just decimated this Denver Nuggets team, decimated them. And hopefully, got a wooden desk. We'll knock on some wood there. Hopefully it's just, a little bit of a bang up there for Jamal Murray. Hopefully just a bruise or a rolled ankle, which is obviously not great, but hopefully nothing devastating that will keep Jamal Murray out for a significant amount of time, because this last handful of games down the stretch in the regular season for Denver, it's imperative for them to figure out rotations and figure out who could play with who, and figure out how to get back to playing that tried and true Denver Nuggets basketball, which helped them win a championship a few seasons ago. And the last 2 seasons, despite not winning the championship, being one of the most lethal teams in the NBA. This season, obviously, Denver's been good in moments. The last, 20, 25 games or so, they've been about a 500 basketball team, up and down, a lot of moving parts. And right when it feels like you're starting to get the trains back on the track and you take down the Lakers like you did, to have this injury pop up in the manner in which it did and the time in which it did is just very, very disappointing. Very, very disappointing. And that's sports sometimes. That's just the reality of the situation. And I understand that Denver has not always executed perfectly in moments throughout the course of the season, but you got to control what you can control. And when you feel like you're getting back to a point where you can try to just establish some consistency and not have to slap a Band-Aid on an open wound when it comes to injuries and rotations and everything along those lines, it's just a tough hand that you got to play out right now if you're David Adelman of this Denver Nuggets team. So again, Jamal Murray departing this game here this evening, or tonight rather, against the New York Knicks. He leaves towards the tail end of the first half, did not play in the second half, and kind of a freak injury, like no dirty play or anything like that. It was just OG Anunoby making a strong push into the paint and Jamal falling backward kind of awkwardly landing on Nikola Jokic's foot. And that's all she wrote for Jamal Murray in this game. And hopefully, frankly, that's all she wrote in this game for the Denver Nuggets. As I mentioned, they looked like a team that was lifeless when it came to the second half here. So we'll get to the game as a whole. If you guys have any thoughts, feel free to drop those in the comments section. Let me know your thoughts on this game, Jamal Murray's injury. I mean, frankly, there's a lot more to dive into besides Jamal Murray's injury. It was, frankly, just a team that looked like they were playing on the second night of the back-to-back. I mean, the three-point shots that were falling for them left and right against Los Angeles Lakers were nowhere to be found. And just the overall production, like Nikola Jokic did his thing here tonight. But really, outside of that, man, who was going to come to the rescue for Nikola Jokic? I mean, it wasn't Aaron Gordon. It was not Cam Johnson, despite the fact that he put up 10 points, which I guess is a step in the right direction for Cam Johnson at this point in his season. Christian Brown under double digits. So it was Nikola Jokic versus the world out there tonight against the New York Knicks. And I'm sure you guys, if you were watching from home as I was, you hear it on the TV, those loud, echoing "Let's go Knicks" chants. And that's nothing that's uncommon for the Nuggets, especially when a team like the Knicks come into town. We know that they travel very, very well. And frankly, there was not much for Denver to cheer about after the first quarter. That's just kind of where we're at. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Appreciate each and every one of you rocking with me here on the Locked On Nuggets postcast. Okay, let's hit a quick break. When we come back, let's continue along with the conversation and dive into the game specifically. We'll get into some turning points and what we'll be talking about moving forward from this game, as now the Denver Nuggets will try to turn the page to take on the Oklahoma City Thunder. So all that more when we come back right here on your Locked On Nuggets postcast. Back in just a moment, folks. All right, you guys, real quick, let me tell you about our friends over at FanDuel. College basketball is nonstop. Big games, tight spreads, momentum swings every single night. From early tip-offs to late-night West Coast shootouts, there's always action on the board. And now FanDuel is giving you a way to turn that energy into even bigger potential wins with a college basketball parlay profit boost. You can build any college hoops parlay you want, rivalry games, ranked matchups, whatever fits the read. You can mix spreads, totals, and player props to match how much you want to see, or to match how you see the slate playing out, Then you can apply the profit boost and instantly bump up the potential payout. Go safe, go bold, ride with the teams you've been following all season. It's your parlay, your style, now with more upside behind it. Head to FanDuel.com to get started. That's FanDuel.com. FanDuel, play your game. Be sure to check out our friends over at FanDuel and let them know that Locked On Nuggets sent you. And let me also tell you real quick about our friends over at 5 Hour Energy, guys, because welcome to the 5 Hour Energy flavor draft with 18 different flavors to choose from, including new options like confetti, craze, fruity, rainbow, or cotton candy. There's something for everybody out there in the world of 5 Hour Energy. The board is set, the flavors are ready, and I've got my number one pick for the 5 Hour Flavor Energy draft. I'm going to go with confetti craze. It's a delicious blend of rich and buttery, freshly baked confetti cake, smooth vanilla frosting, and a sprinkle of sweetness in every single sip. Sweet birthday cake-inspired flavor, notes of vanilla frosting and sugary sprinkles, smooth dessert-like taste profile as well, and it's rich and indulgent from start to finish. It's not just your average 5-hour energy now, guys. They've got plenty of different options. Find your new favorite flavor of 5-hour energy shots available online at 5hourenergy.com or on Amazon. That's 5hourenergy.com. And don't forget, 5-hour energy shots give you a boost with zero sugar. Be sure to check them out online at 5hourenergy.com or on Amazon and let them know that Locked On Nuggets sent you. All right, welcome on back into your Locked On Nuggets postcast. I am your host, Aniello Piro. We'll be rocking and rolling with you throughout the rest of the regular season and into the playoffs, which hopefully will be a nice deep playoff run for the Denver Nuggets. But the vibes have certainly been a bit strange and a bit off with this team this season. So we'll see just how far they can go. Make sure to hit that like button and smash that subscribe button. It really helps us out here on the channel. And again, Matt Moore, Ryan Blackburn, Swipa, they have not gone anywhere. This is just a new addition to the channel and to the audio feed as well for some instant reaction right after the game. All right, let's get into the turning point in this one.
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
I think it's very easy to pinpoint the turning point in this game to Jamal Murray going down. But there were signs that this Denver Nuggets team was wiltering as the game went along. I mean, this is one of those matchups where it truly felt like it was the second night of a back-to-back for Denver. I mean, they came out strong in the first quarter, at least in the first half of the first quarter, that is. They end up winning the first quarter 29-27, put up some nice points, went on an early run. Didn't look like New York was really able to settle into a groove. It was when New York, at least in my opinion, switched to their bench unit that they got some pretty significant scoring from at it here, guys. Let me see here. Yeah, Mitchell Robinson comes off the bench. He's got 13 points. Landry Shamet with 10 points, 2 of 4 from 3. Couple of big shots from him today throughout the course of this game. I mean, Denver did a pretty good job of holding the big guys in check for the New York Knicks. It was really OG Anunoby that absolutely destroyed the Nuggets today. 34 points, 11 of 17 from the field, 6 of 11 from deep. He was lethal in the corner three. He adds in 7 rebounds and 5 assists on top of 4 steals and a block. So it was a night for OG Anunoby here at Ball Arena. Cat with 17, Josh Hart with 18, but Jalen Brunson with only 9 points. Mikal Bridges as well with 9 points. And so, you hold Jalen Brunson in check. He was, wheeling and dealing in the assist department with 15 in his own. So he was making his presence felt in other ways besides the scoring, which is what we've come to know from Jalen Brunson in his career at the New York Knicks. And so, you factor that in along with the overall bench production that the New York Knicks got, but they also went 16 for 34 from beyond the arc, good for 47%. And then the flip side of the situation is, as I mentioned in the first segment there, it was Nikola Jokic versus the world. I mean, Jokic finishes with 38 points, 8 rebounds, and 5 assists. I mean, he was the heart and soul of this Nuggets offense for a majority of this game. And Jamal Murray ends up finishing with 12 points. And for the first half of the game, it was like Jokic and Murray, that two-man game on display, which we've all become so accustomed to see. But outside of that, you didn't really get much. I know there was a lot of anticipation and a lot of Nuggets fans and Nuggets faithful out there that were very excited for Aaron Gordon's return, as they should be. Been a long time coming, but AG on a minutes restriction tonight didn't really make a tremendous impact in this game and did not look to be in a complete groove. You saw a couple of different possessions from Aaron Gordon, maybe just holding the ball too long, a lack of movement overall with the Nuggets on offense. He finishes with a measly 3 points, 0 of 3 from 3, 3 rebounds, and 3 assists. Now, I think Aaron Gordon will figure it out. And again, I think it'd be interesting to see how this game would have played out had Jamal Murray not gotten hurt. Does Denver go into halftime and flip a switch? Where are they at coming out of the break? Obviously, we did not get to that point, as it feels like Jamal going down with the injury just kind of sucked the life out of this team. But the one other thought that I have, respectively, with this Nuggets team, and look, I was so curious to see how Denver was going to perform in this matchup tonight against the Knicks. And we understand it's the second night of a back-to-back. I mentioned, or I don't think I gave you Denver's 3-point shooting discrepancy because it was not good. They were 8 for 40. That's good for 20% from beyond the arc, and 37 for 83 from the field. That's 45% clip there from Denver. So the legs looked shot outside of that first little opening turn there in the first quarter. And, there is obviously that at play with respect to the second night of a back-to-back and how that impacts teams. And I thought that win against the Lakers was tremendous. And I know there was a large theme. I listened to Matt and Ryan this morning talking about, is this kind of the turning of the tide potentially for the Nuggets? I've talked to some colleagues and coworkers that cover the Nuggets as well. And I know that was a big sentiment on Sports Talk Radio and different podcasts and just Nuggets Twitter as a whole. And I'm not necessarily disagreeing with that. And we know where they're at with their stretch, right? They've got Oklahoma City, they've got Houston and San Antonio. So this is kind of a season-defining stretch to a certain extent for Denver because the schedule will lighten up a little bit after this little gauntlet of games here. But the common denominator for me, and look, we know the Lakers don't play well against winning teams, quite frankly. But I was curious to see how Denver played in this game against the Knicks because the Knicks play a very uber-aggressive style of defense, which is essentially the exact opposite of what the Los Angeles Lakers do. That's just the reality of the situation, at least in my opinion. And you saw just that pesky defense from the Knicks just kind of throw Denver for a bit of a whirl. And that's been the case against the Oklahoma City Thunder at times. We've seen it with the, some other teams that they've played throughout the course of this year as well. And so I just think the team like the Knicks, who are obviously in the Eastern Conference, the style of defense in which the New York Knicks play is reminiscent of that of a team that Denver might have to face in the second round of the playoffs, should they get that far. It's a big if at this point. So we'll see. Like I said, it's a good thing that Aaron Gordon is back. It'll take him a game or two to get back into shape, right? We'll see, not into shape, but just, playing form, I guess you could say. Peyton Watson hopefully shortly returning sooner rather than later as well. Spencer Jones made his return, found himself in some foul trouble early in this game as well. So it was just a flush the game down the toilet kind of night for the Denver Nuggets as they ultimately lose this game 142-103. Very, very disappointing. But I think the biggest concern here is with Jamal Murray, where I at least haven't heard anything. I know he was questionable. It did not look good, but he did walk off, with some help from his teammates. Like, it wasn't like he had to get carted off or anything like that. I know that doesn't happen in the NBA, but hopefully it looked worse than it actually was. I think that's what we need to say on Jamal Murray. So well wishes with him. Been an all-star in the midst of his best season of his career. And Denver's going to need him if they want to go on a championship run or at least make a deep playoff run. I mean, Jamal this season, career high 25.7 points per game, career best 7.3 assists per game, in addition to 4.4 rebounds per game, and 48% true shooting from the field and 43% from three. So no question, the Nuggets need Jamal Murray back. And hopefully it's just one of those rolled ankles, bruise, whatever it might be, and hopefully nothing devastating. And frankly, it's just been an injury-riddled season for this Denver Nuggets team. So a lot of ifs, a lot of questions. I've been saying the vibes are just kind of funky with this team all year long. And as I said at the beginning of the show, I truly believe injuries are the only thing that can derail this team. All right, that is going to do it for me on tonight's Locked On Nuggets postcast. That's what these shows are, guys. Quick, instant reaction thoughts. We're going to let Matt, Swiper, Ryan do all the deep dive analysis. They'll get you covered with their statistics and their rotations and their Adelman comments and all that kind of stuff. When I'm on the show here on the postcast, we'll be just doing some kind of quick reaction to what we saw happen on the hardwood. So appreciate each and every one of you rocking with me. We'll do it again on Monday as the Denver Nuggets get ready to take on the Oklahoma City Thunder, maybe potentially without Jamal Murray. We'll see what happens with an update to him. But appreciate each and every one of you. Make sure to hit that like button and smash that subscribe button on your way out of the door. Matt Moore, Ryan Blackburn, Swiper got you covered with some additional Nuggets content right here on your Locked On Nuggets YouTube channel, as well as the audio feed. Brutal loss for the Nuggets tonight, 142-103. That's just the way it is as the injury bug continues to bite the Nuggets. Talk to you guys later.